what was bad was he was slipping all of them, which turned you off, and you thought, oh, he's not standing there like a big stiff Ammo Williams. Oh, why won't you stand there and let me pop you in the mouth with my 17-foot jab? That's what was really the problem. He didn't really like it, that someone was in there with supreme skills. And they want this, Hamza's great. If you got a big stiff idiot in there, yeah, they'll stand there, dong, dong, dong. If you got a big stiff, leaky deaky idiot in there, they'll stand there like this, ready for it, like AJ was us to was ready to take it. That's the truth. Watch the whole of Hamza's career. There's a whole bunch that they've lined up so many big, stiff, leaky deaky idiots you wouldn't believe. And he's punched them right in their mouth. That's what he's done. The first guy that turns up to win, the first guy that turns up with some skills, he's out of ideas, is what we saw. Nothing to do with his hands. And now I'm happy to take the draw. Come on, tell the truth, man. A boxer knows when he's lost a 10-2 fight. I'll never believe otherwise. I'm sorry. I'll never believe otherwise. Ever. That a man comes out of a 10-2 losing fight and takes a draw and doesn't know. He knows. He knows.
That's a question you have to ask Ricky, because I ain't watched the fight back. So you can ask Ricky or ask whoever else. But as for now, I'm just going to, recoup and get back to the drawing board.
But you also did plenty right. Yeah. You also showed that you belong at this level. You didn't get the win tonight, but that's an elite...
Dev, man. Dev sucking him off. Oh, Bleeble, I ain't being funny, yeah? I can't... After what I saw, that to me looked like almost... I'd say it was... You know when Eubank fought Groves? And people were laughing at him saying, he's not world level. This was the same equivalent. In fact, I think Eubank was more competitive with Groves than he was with Adamez. And people have always slagged off Eubank. He's not world class. He's always lost at world class. Like I said, this cat here did a lot worse. Eubank did a lot better with Groves than Hamza did with Adamez. So if you're going to slag off Eubank for being useless, you have to do the same here. You can't say, he competed. He didn't. At all. Hamza's known as the pressure guy. He was running the whole night. Make that make sense. Oops.
Middleweight, you're right there with him.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That you belong at this level. You didn't get the win tonight, but that's an elite middleweight. Yeah. You're right there with him.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You're right there with him, minus 8 rounds, Dev. Yeah, you was. Yeah, you was really winning. Yeah, you was right there with him, minus about 8 rounds. Stop playing.
Ideally, I wanted to win, but it's one of them things, isn't it? It's one of them things. But yeah, so a lot to learn from it. And
ideally, I wanted to win. It's almost like it's an out-of-body experience, and that's what will happen when you've been put in there with stiffs, yeah, and you get in there with someone who's really with it. You'll feel like, whoa, it was an out-of-body experience. And what did he say again? Wait a minute.
For sure. Ideally, I wanted to win, but
ideally, like nothing to do with me. But ideally, I'd like to have won. You had a whole bunch of rounds in there to get stuck in, but he knows now. He after a good schooling, okay, yeah. It would have been ideal to win, but I didn't really want that. I didn't want to do what it actually took to win. So it would have been ideal, but I don't. If you know what I'm saying, if it involves my actual getting at itness, I don't want nothing to do with it. Ideally, if I could have not robbed a win, I'd take it. But if I have to fight for it, I don't want nothing to do with it.
It's one of them things, isn't it? It's one of them things. But yeah, so a lot to learn from it, and
you got that right, man. You schooled your ass.
A hell of an experience.
What was the fight like in there? Because it felt like a very physical, tough fight.
Yeah, no, it was, as you can see.
So he knows. He felt them shots. Physical fight. He was... Listen, I like the guy. He's alright. He was like a deer in headlights in there. And this is the problem when we see it with Ben Whittaker. You put him in there with all these stiflers, and they get in there with someone half alive. Well, Adamez is more than half alive, but you get the point. And it all unwinds. Same as AJ. Gets bopped once and he falls apart. Mandinga room hype job.
Listen, I think I showed I had a good chin as well in there. It wasn't ideal to show it, but I showed that I had a good chin. Like I said, I'll be back, man. I'll be back. I've come from nothing. I'm here now, and I'll be back.
Anyway, let's get to Frank Warren now.
Sounds like you almost like treating it like a loss, but like...
Dev, it was a loss. You got that right. It was a loss. You got punched up. That's why he's all... he knows what happened. Let's come at Hamza and say, hey, man, I got boxed up. I got a lot to learn. I thank Adamez for schooling me the way he did, because he could have knocked my ass out if he really... You know what I mean? If I'd have stood there and knocked my ass out. So I'm grateful that he took me through a 12-round schooling. and didn't just clip my ass, because that would have been embarrassing. He nursed me. He did what the great teachers, they don't just you teach by showing, and Adames showed him the game for a sustained period of time, put him through a PhD essentially, and he failed. Listen, Hamza failed the PhD, but Adames nonetheless put him through it. Yeah, put him right the way through it. Bosh. Anyway, let's get to Frank Warren's corny ass. Yeah, look at this guy shilling now. Watch.
I mean, what a night so far, Frank, already. And we're still obviously getting ourselves ready for the main event, both of them, as they say. But I want to reflect on one thing before we get there. Hamza, the performance tonight, obviously called a draw overall. Just tell me your reflections and your thoughts.
Well, he broke his hand. He's got a busted hand. You could see in the fight something weren't quite right. You won't be able to land power shots with your right hand. But
he wasn't allowed. Wait a minute. He wasn't able to land power shots with the right hand. This is left hand, Frank. So, is it an inverted camera? That's his left hand that's allegedly bad. So his right hand, nothing wrong with it. You can argue, well, he couldn't set it up and whatever. He was throwing all of it. I saw him hit Adames a few times with the right hand. So make your mind up. And the commentators were sucking him off.
yeah, I think that's a fair reflection of the fight, to be quite honest. I was one of the judges. I don't know where he was at with the scoring, but
You're right. The 114, 113, he was proper off his head. Yeah, not the one you're talking about. The 118, 110. He was bang on it. Bang on it.
look, he's 23 years of age. I think he's struggling at the weight as well, by the way. I was looking at him in that fight and looked at him at the weight. He may move up, I'm not sure yet. We'll have a discussion about that.
So we've heard about the hand, the weight, and I do think the weight thing's an issue, but that wasn't... You must have known that. Well, you should have known that before. He's no way a 160 pounder. He should be at 175, really. To be honest, at his size. He should never be at 160. But don't come bringing them excuses now, because either he won or he didn't. Right? Either it was a legitimate draw, and you say, well, we got a draw and it is what it is, or he broke his hand and he's drained at the weight. Just throwing things at the wall, man. You got boxed up. Is the easier thing to say. You know what? We got a good old PhD schooling and sent on our way. Yeah, packing our bags with our tail between our legs. That's the truth of the situation. Yeah, he boxed you up so bad you don't even want to be in that weight class no more. That's the truth, right? Stop playing. You don't want to be in no more. Ow. I think it's time to move up, Frank, because my head hurts. That's what Hamza was like in the corner. I'm not going to lie to you. That's what he was like in the change room. That's a leaked video. Rubbing his head. Ow, Frank. Ow. Ow, I don't like 160 no more. It's mad.
But we could maybe even get a rematch. Wait and see what happens. But he's done well. I mean, moving up, coming through, winning in with.
It'll never be a rematch. Never be. I'll be... People, I'm 99% sure they'll never do a rematch. Definitely not next. Maybe when Adames is 50 years old, they might dig him up. That's what they might do. Because Hamza will be like, when Adames is 50, Hamza will be like 35. So they might dig him up then. Never do it next. Never. I'm confident of that. Never.
With a good fighter, and a lot of people didn't fancy him, and I think he's done a good account of himself, especially, as I said, with a busted hand.
Speaking to him afterwards, he spoke about the experience and the learning curve and in his own mind what he could have done better. So that tells me already where his mentality is. But I want to look forward really quickly because I know that we've got a massive card right now.
Alright people, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, like for the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this. Some people stop it.
I am so excited to talk to our next guest. Quickly becoming, I mean, I said this last week, maybe not the nicest person in combat sports. I don't think that's fair. One of the nicest human beings that I've ever come across in life. He is currently the interim WBO heavyweight champion, former WBO heavyweight champion. He walked into Riyadh this past weekend. He did the job. He showed up. It wasn't against the guy that he thought it was going to be against, but you'll recall George Lockhart around a week ago told us that he'd win in 3. Well, it happened in 2, and it was against Martin Bakole, the so-called boogeyman of the heavyweight division. And so now here he is on the cusp of once again becoming heavyweight champion, and he's going to make it happen. He's